Well, if you'd ever like to know what I look like with a baby fro, I look like my father. What's up, y'all? So, I'm feeling pretty good today. The past like week or so, I haven't been feeling that great. Um, like what is that? I'm looking some vines. I'm getting distracted. But anyways, hopefully you can hear me. I don't have my mic today, so you know. But last night I produced, wrote my first song. I've written a lot of songs, but producing my own song, no. Oh, and I have some hair stuff in my hair. But producing my own song, no, no. And it was an adventure, and it was fun. And the song itself is very simple. I don't want to. It's with loops. I'm not a producer. Um, but the subject matter is what's the most hilarious. I had a few concepts over the years of little short EPs that I wanted to make. Um, I don't know if I do a full length album, like a proper album, because I just have so many. I mean, technically they could be albums within themselves, but they're so small. I want to do like 5 or 6 songs, between 4 and 6 songs, and like I said, I've had a lot of crazy concepts over the years of things that I've wanted to do. I remember I had a concept, I think it was called like, is it my mustache? I am stashing. Look at me stashing. I haven't narrowed in a while though. But I believe it was called A1 Shit Talker. And I had a lot of lyrics, but music is kind of hard. I have so many songs just in my notes in my phone, not to mention all of the ones on my different various computers. Over the years, how you get different computers over the years. So, um, but it was fun. It was freeing to be able to put something together because I already have the whole thing fleshed out. I have all of the subject matter fleshed out. Um, I have some lyrics, like full lyrics, and some parts, pieces and parts, and some of it just storyline. But I've talked about this before. When I think about music, people don't have concepts anymore. They don't have creativity. Everybody's sampling everything. There's no originality. Like right now, it seems like people are on this '80s kick. I've noticed that, and it's like from a fashion standpoint, everything has been done anyway, but there's just no. It's like it's one thing when you take a piece of something from the past and make it new. It's kind of like what happened in the 2000s and the 2010s, but now like the past two eras have no originality. Like nothing has been created or really made new. It's just been recycled. And it's disappointing. It's disappointing. And I feel the same way about music. Um, Even seeing some new artists come out, I can see they'll have a piece of something, and it's a piece of something really good, or the song is good, or the band itself is good, or the singer or the whatever I'm gonna say songwriter, singer songwriter, whatever. They have the songs that are good, but they miss a image, or they miss the quality of making something. Like even independent something, just a little research can make your stuff really sound great. Or they have the song, they have the music, but their images, or they might have the image, but no. Look at it's my net. They might have the image, but no creativity. Let me scoot over. Hold on. Okay, that's a little bit better. I was a little close to the edge, but they have the music. The image is okay, but there's no creativity in what they do. It's just so bland and washed out. And it's like, and don't get me wrong, I get it. Back in the day when people were signed, they had whole teams to help create concepts for people. But I think even then, a lot of people were just canvases for a great surrounding. And that's fine too. But it really it really loses out on the artists. Like there are singers, there are rappers, there are performers, but there are no artists anymore. Like I don't want to say anymore. There's a lot of people who do great things, but and you know when something is really great when you have a great image, a great concept, great music. It may not be 100%, it may be, but whatever that thing is, it pulls people along with what it is that you're doing. Like that part. When it's so good that you just, people can't ignore it, or it's like it has a very hardcore audience. And that's something going forward, if I decide to do it full on, well, I don't want to say full on, at least create this project. My goal would be to find people who really love what I do and not an image of what I do, but they really love me in what I do. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I have a lot of different ideas. One of my greater influences is an artist named Khalees. If y'all don't know who Khalees is, she's the one who sang Milkshake and Bossy. She is one of those evolutionary artists. Number one, everything, she's always like 5 years ahead fashion wise for all of her stuff. In every single era that she's done, look at all of her different albums. 3 to 5 years later, everybody's doing what she's doing. The hair, the whole thing, the makeup, all of the whole image. I remember when she came out with gray hair, and I'm like, why the hell Khalees dye her hair gray? That's crazy, right? I didn't like it. Well, I still don't like it, but I don't have any grays, but someday I know it's coming. But anyway, I wasn't crazy about it, but literally 3 to 4 years later, everybody was having gray hair or silver hair. They would say silver. Everybody was doing a silver hair. She did the next album, she did more like a 60s type thing. Then everybody was doing that like 3 years later. I'm like, just a real artist, the artistry of what she does. And I'm pretty sure she has her own teams around her and things like that. But I love the artist in her more so than just the things that dress her up. You know what I mean? And that's the type of people that I would want to love and listen to what I do, because it's not another person that I love. Is evolutionary type artist, is an experimental artist. She's independent, named Salami Rose Joe Louise. She's a producer, she's a singer, and she creates these little like 1 to 2 minute pops of music, and she puts all that on the album. It'd be like 20 or 25, 30 songs, but they're all like a minute to 2.5 minutes. And every single album is different, but her energy and how she flows through her concepts is all the same. You get what I mean? And that's something that I would want to do. You know what I'm saying? I can never see myself doing the same thing or the same type of thing, but I feel like my energy definitely flows to what I do. And this particular little snippet, I'm not going to play anything for you, don't. But I still have to go in and I'm not going to play anything until I do it all. Because I already have everything fleshed out. It's literally just finding the right music, the right sound to go with it. Um, I would like to move into more experimental music. I have a very old voice, R&B, jazzy type voice. And but I don't want to do R&B or jazz. You get what I mean? Um, I love the experimental scene where you're just like on the fringe of something totally weird and different. And no loops are fine, but no samples. I don't want to do no fucking samples. I don't want to do anything that anybody else has done. Excuse me. I don't want to do anything that anybody else has created. Like, I want to create my own thing. Again, with the loops, you're going to find some similarities, but it's still mine. You know what I mean? I put the shit together. But, I just want to do simple things, more things with my voice. I'm going to have to get. I'm not very good at the. I have a MIDI keyboard with the little pads and all of that. But I don't really know how to use it, to be totally honest. Just sitting up collecting dust. And to be fair, a lot of the stuff is already on. Like I have my tablet is already on there, and on my computer, it probably would be more useful when I think about it. I have to really figure out how to do that now. You know what I mean? But anyway, but it's just, I'm so sick of hearing the same shit over and over again, the same subject matter over and over again. I'm really gonna have to work on my writing to be, because it's like it's just like when you paint, you have the words that come out versus what's in your head, and it doesn't always match the concept. And I really wanted to be as closely related to the concept as possible. You know, it kind of reminds me of when I was in art school. I was an art major for a year, and I had this one painting teacher, just like the traditional white egotistical man, like any, what do you call it? Any what's the word? Any, I'm gonna say subtext. It's not the word. That's not what I'm trying to say. Basically, any of your preconceived judgments you can think about that subject, he was that, and he was a dick, but he wasn't the worst type I've ever met, but he was still a dick, you know. And when I first did painting one, I was not that good. Like we tried to paint still life stuff. It was like, you know how they do the basket with the onion and fruit, and well, I think that one had an onion and some other things in it or something. I painted over. I don't even have that first painting, but I'm pretty sure I painted over it years ago. But it was not good. It was not that great. But it was my first time painting ever. And do you know he critiqued that? Like, I guess if I'm supposed to be a painter, I should paint like fucking Da Vinci or some shit on my first painting. Like, he was just a real fucking asshole. But of course, I got the last laugh. Of course. Um, but I realized very quickly I am not very, what's the word, adept. I don't want to say I'm not good at. I can do. Um, I have done a few like nature things and still life things, but I'm not really that great at it. I think it's because I don't like following the rules of three dimensions. Only in certain concepts, but I don't really like following three-dimensional rules and lines, like what's it called? Lines of vision, like when you're looking at something, how it would look as things get smaller as they go farther away, or just like different angles. I don't like doing stuff like that. I feel like it's too constricting. It's too there's no freedom. But I just learned really fast that that's not something I'm as adept at, and I don't like to do it. But I am pretty good at portraits and all of my other different types of art that I do. But that first painting was not that great. And some of the other ones I did, I was getting better. But I went home during the, well, I know, was it a spring break? Not spring break. Was it a break that I did it? Maybe it was on the weekends. I think it was just on the weekends. I was also in drawing one, and they taught us that you don't have to um, draw out You don't have to be a great drawer or great drawer. I can't even say that. You don't have to draw well to be a great painter. You can literally stencil the face features on a canvas and paint it, you know, and that's what I was better at. I'm not that great of a drawer, but I can still draw. Um, but I would use stencils to stencil out just general facial features, this, nose, whatever, and then I would paint in all of the context. And I was really, really good at that. And once I found out I was good at that, I just took off. So before, like halfway through the semester, I literally had everything that was requested of me for the class. So before the second semester even started, I had art that would push me forward through the end of the semester. When I went over winter break, I had everything else. Like any other concept, like I want you guys to create this concept or that concept. I had already had art that could do that. So in class, I just did what I wanted to do. And to his surprise, when I showed up, I feel like it was a break that we took. It might have been like a something in October, maybe like Columbus Day or something. Where I just went home and um I just painted a portrait. I think my first portrait was it was either Billie Holiday or Beyonce. I can't remember. I did so many things around that time. But I came back the next week with this half finished portrait. He's like, "You did that?" I'm like, "Of course." It's really good. I know. You fucker. Piece of shit. And I hate when people like he was one of those people who really wanted to show off what he knew. And he had concepts of things, but he was not, in my opinion, an artist. He was a teacher. There's a big damn difference between an artist and a teacher, in my opinion. I mean, you have people like who do restoration work and things like that, but when you're creating something original, like his style of art was stuff in the like 1800s and shit, like French and all of that kind of shit, Italian art. I'm like, that's not what the fuck I do, you know? I did a self portrait and I remember I did borders, um, these like really colorful borders. I did like a blocking. I did just like a plain blue and then this like marble effect of pink. And he was like, but that, the portrait is great, but that doesn't look aesthetically, like it's not aesthetically right. And I'm like, well, I wasn't trying to be aesthetically right. I was doing what I want. He could the funny part is like throughout we could in the class we could have headphones in, and so he would be teaching and I would have a headphone in and not listening at all to any of the shit he's talking about because I had already done all the work for the semester. All he could do is sit there and look at me like I'm fucking stupid. It was funny. Um oh, and then the next and then my drawing teacher, he was actually over the entire art program at the college. And he saw my art and he was like, um, I love what you do. And he gave me a scholarship for the next semester as long as I had full credits. Um, I got a half of my tuition that year was paid for through the art program. And I decided not to continue with it the next semester because I just didn't know what the hell am I gonna do with an art degree. I don't think I only had a few more things to finish. I think uh, I know I had art history to do, and maybe a few more classes, and I probably could have got my art degree. Well, and then I had to do math and fucking science. I only had maybe like I was only like three credits away from an associate's degree. And if I would have finished that, that would have gave me my bachelor's in art. But I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this? I don't want to be an art teacher. I don't want to. What the hell would I use it for? Just I don't want to do any of that stuff. So I ultimately, and then I needed help with math. I am an artist at heart. Okay, 100%. I am not a math person. Adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, all great. Anything beyond that, you can miss me with all that. I would have needed some real, like, serious extra help to finish math because I could never get past that class before college algebra. I couldn't get past it. I'd just be like half throughout, get to half of the semester, and I'm totally lost. Totally lost. Didn't know what the fuck was going on. But that was a long. I didn't mean to say all that. That was long. But anyway, the type of artist I am is I don't like to work in three dimensions on any scale. Music, painting, drawing, um, even with drawing. Well, I'm like I said, I never was a much of a drawer, but I would draw for my painting, and I just all of my paintings are like in space and just in this negative space that can you can do anything with. I just don't like the concept of being confined by the three dimensions of Earth. Or if I bring Earth into it, it'll be Earth into this liminal space. Um, but anyways, that was so fun to do. I really had fun making that song. Like I said, the subject matter is crazy. You know how I really think, like how I really feel. The lyrics are crazy. But I'm just gonna have fun, see what pops up, and enjoy myself. And I would ideally, we'll see, we'll see. I would like to ideally be done with this by Halloween. Really, honestly, I really want to be done with it in a month. Let's see how much I can do in a month. I don't like long deadlines because that just gets me discouraged after a while. I like deadlines like within 2 weeks to a month because that'll really push me to get it done. So I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna try my best. All right, I'm done with my rant today. Hopefully you're having a great day, and I will talk to you later.